tweet, she echoed that she might actually be hanging the boots. Now, before I get into what I have to say about that situation, let me read her tweet. She said, 529, my retirement album. Thank you for everything. And of course, the internet is shocked. Because what do you mean you're retiring at such a young age? I mean, just 2 years ago you were flourishing, so what's now pushing you into retiring? I thought you said now it's going up and down, up and down. And yes, I'm referencing that video that I know you guys know. Yeah, she said it used to only be one person at the top, but we all it's going up and down, up and down. So just like the rest of the world, I'm also shocked. But to be honest, am I? Now, I'm just pretending to be shocked because anyone could have seen that, her career was never going to be at the level that she was delusionally believing it would get to. And her biggest mistake was biting more than she can chew. I mean, Nicki Minaj even warned her that what you're doing right now is not going to benefit you. And unfortunately, she had to learn the hard way. Because like it or not, a lot of people that actually do buy music, a lot of people that actually do love and appreciate female rap as a craft, appreciates Nicki Minaj. And when she went on her little rant and did all that she did, all she got was hype from the Nicki Minaj haters. And to be honest, a lot of Nicki Minaj haters are not people that love female rap or appreciate the craft to the level of actually buying the music. And that's the problem. She got gassed up by Twitter likes and Twitter opinions. And I've kind of really noticed even amongst my own social circles, amongst my own workmates, people who love and appreciate everything that rap is about, from Carden's lyricism and stuff like that, you realize that a lot of them really are inclined towards Nicki because she does have those qualities. It is the occasional listeners of the craft that appreciate Advovo BBL and all these other people that are not as talented. But anyone who actually cares about that genre enough to buy music, yeah, a lot of those people do appreciate what Nicki has brought to that table. And so the biggest mistake a female rapper can do is prioritizing or pandering to that demographic that doesn't care about the craft like that, because they only care about it on Twitter. Sure, if your song is played in the club, they will appreciate it. But to go out of their way to say, Lottery has released a song and now we're going to buy it, you're going to need people who actually do love the craft to that extent. And this is the reason why you see a lot of Advovo BBL fans that are arguing on the internet, or rather a lot of the Nicki Minaj haters that are arguing on the internet. It's never really about the music. It's never really about the craft. It's about personality. So now when you release music banking on the support of people that only appreciate your personality, you are selling the wrong product. Or rather, you're selling the right product to the wrong audience, because your audience is there for your personality or your petty beef that you've had with Nicki Minaj. They're not really here for your music. And I think that's where the disconnect is with a lot of these girls. And in as much as Lottery Ticket got ahead of herself and did too much disrespecting Nicki Minaj, stunt stuff aside, I really do think that she has the potential. Or rather, she had the potential. Okay, had she decided to move in a smart way and had she decided not to grow a big head. If I were to pick between two people that deserve to be in the female rap space, between Advocate BBL and Lottery Ticket, I definitely would pick Lottery Ticket, because not only do I think that she actually can rap, I also do feel like she's genuinely passionate about the craft. I mean, we also had doing those little talent shows and stuff like that. She's somebody who genuinely does care for the craft. On the other hand, it is clear by now that Advocate BBL is in it for the money. And with her, she has all the resources that otherwise, if Lottery had gotten, she might have been able to push through. And these are the things that Nicki Minaj is fighting for currently. That people who do not have the talent or the passion about music are being pushed on to the public. And that's what Nicki is advocating for. But look at her. Instead of standing behind and understanding that Nicki is actually fighting for the greater good of the genre, she decided to run behind Advocate BBL and turn Nicki Minaj into her imaginary rival. And it's only later when these female rappers realize that this woman in fact was actually fighting for us. Because now, regardless of how talented and how passionate you are for the craft, it doesn't matter. Because value is being placed on things that don't matter in the genre. And that's exactly what Nicki was saying. Fairness. That's exactly what Nicki Minaj was fighting for. Fairness. But this is what happens when you guys run behind somebody who is being well-funded and well-sponsored by the music industry. You lose your relevance. I told you before that the next time we're going to go to the Grammys, I don't want to hear anyone crying when you see Jake Harlow being given an award over people that actually are very passionate about rap as a craft. Don't cry. When the male and female rapper of the year award goes to Jake Harlow and Alabama Backer, or even Bad Barbie, I don't want to hear anyone complaining, because when people are talking about this and when people are talking about how unfair it is for people that don't actually care for the craft to be pushed on, you guys are quick to call them bitter. And Lottery, at this point, honestly, she brought it upon herself. She realized that even the pregnancy thing doesn't sell for her like it does for others. Do you see the unfairness? She even decided to do the rollout with the pregnancy thing that Advovo BBL was teaching them. Instead of learning pure artistry from an OG who is proven to have longevity like none others, instead of actually taking notes from Nicki Minaj, you decide to run behind a bird who's falling pregnant for another man whilst being. Listen, you know the tea about all of that. Instead of learning something valuable, you're learning how to do a rollout using your pregnancy. And where did that land you? Where? In retirement. And it's very sad, okay? We may say, oh my God, Latto, this, she's a bad, this, she's a... But at the end of the day, really, we are witnessing the annihilation of something that meant something to others. Some of us are poetry lovers, okay? And rap is a way of artistically exploring poetry on an instrumental. To me, at least that's how I look at it. But now all that is left of it is rollouts using controversy and pregnancies, which is very sad to witness. I do feel like it's going back to that era that it was before, it was being accepted mainstream wise. The era that female rap was not being taken seriously as something profitable, as something meaningful. I feel like slowly we're going back to that point, and we are going back to the point where females are only appreciated for their aesthetic and not for their talent, which is a stereotype that people like Nicki Minaj, people like Missy Elliott, people that came before these girls had to fight against. Only for you guys to come and dilute it and be regressive to go back to that point. It's very sad in my own opinion. Now, of course, I did hear some people saying that, well, this is just for sympathy. She's looking for sympathy. She's not really going to retire. But whether she's doing this as a publicity stunt or not, one thing we cannot deny is the fact that her career refused to take off the way that it could have had she stayed true to herself and true to art. Still speaking on that, I remember Nikki explicitly telling her that what you're doing is not going to benefit you. And I do believe that those words meant a lot more than just, what people were comprehending at surface level. They were basically telling her that the battle that they're using you to fight, at the end of the day, you're never going to be a beneficiary of whatever that's going to come out of that. In fact, look at Remy Ma. She did the same thing, and who ended up benefiting? The industry plant. Lottery Ticket did the same thing, put out a song, put the industry plant on the remix. Did it benefit her, or did it benefit the other person? Because that other person during that time had been trying to put out songs and nothing was sticking. So at the end of the day, Nikki was right when she told her that this thing that you're being made to do, this going back and forth with me, will never ever benefit you, but will benefit another person that the industry wants to win. And these girls don't understand it until it is too late. And I mean, as someone who does interact with Drake, I would expect that Drake would teach her better. I expect that, Drake would have told her the ins and outs of the music industry. But then again, when Latto was going back and forth with Nicki Minaj, Drake was still in his own untouchable era. He was still thinking that Lushan is his baby daddy and stuff like that. They hadn't turned on him yet. So I wouldn't be surprised if instead of actually helping this young girl, Drake was probably egging her on. Like, I wouldn't be shocked by that, because one thing about the music industry, they know how to uplift you to a point where you start to feel untouchable, and after they're done using you, they are very quick to dumping you. I mean, if they can do that to Drake, imagine what they would do to Lottery Ticket. But let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about this entire retirement talk. Do you think that she's being realistic, or do you think that she's probably just lying and looking for sympathy? And are you surprised that she is, probably retiring at this point in time? Did you ever think that after the Nicki Minaj back and forth, she was going to blow up and, it was going to basically breed some form of longevity for her or not? That being said, speaking about the music industry humbling you, let's talk about Victoria Monet. Now, Victoria had quite a great year, and when that song on My Mama was doing its rounds, I was like, listen, finally we are getting someone that's gonna be a superstar, in my own opinion. Okay, that was obviously before the Grammy situation and stuff like that. I said, okay, this girl knows what she's doing. She hasn't missed it as yet. Oh my God, it's amazing. It's only gonna get better from now. And of course, she was celebrated. People were sending her flowers, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. She started associating with that person's mother and stuff like that. They were really hyping her up, and they quickly gave her a Grammy. And at this point, I'm beginning to feel like a Grammy is a curse, because as soon as they did that, something stopped working with her. Something stopped sticking with her. Nothing was ever sticking, actually, with her music. And it's very sad, because there is talent there. Definitely there is talent. So I don't know what this Grammy does to people. But she herself had this to say, about the Grammy situation. And she's also citing that some of her counterparts might be jealous. So allow me to read what she had to say. She said, last year, I had a really tough transition with my team, management, and my agent. And then I also felt unprepared for the next chapter. I felt a lot of pressure musically, because I didn't feel like I had the right body of work to give to people. But they wanted it now. The label was like, there is a lull in time, and you are losing momentum. You're getting older. Like, all of these really negative thoughts that do not belong to me were coming. And I just felt really down. And after the Grammy win, the way people celebrate you as an underdog, and then the moment you win, switch is really alarming. It's like, oh, so you do not want me to be here. You do not want me to be successful because it's only great until you actually get it to some people. And it's very interesting to me that a lot of these artists do not seem to understand that concept when it is being spoken by people who came before them. The concept of people wanting you to forever be the underdog, and as you start to gain power and influence in the industry, they down you. When other people that came before these girls tell them these things, they think they're delusional. And it's always the same repeated cycle, which makes me think, is there something spiritual in Hollywood where that, literally dumps down your mind? Because you cannot tell me that you've witnessed it happening to other people that came before you over and over and over again, but somehow you go in there and think that it's going to be different with you. How many times have we said the fact that they are just giving out Grammys to people who haven't been, putting out music for long or who haven't proven their success for a long period of time does nothing but damage their careers? We have been saying that for a very long period of time. But these record labels continue to do the same thing, bargain for these Grammys. And after they give these girls Grammys, they are not even sure of their own sound at this point. They don't even know what else to put next. They did it to Bongo 2, they did it to Advovo, they did it to Victoria, they did it to Dolce. When you give someone a symbol of what you guys want to deem as the most, the biggest accomplishment, the biggest award in music, I'm not saying it is. I stopped thinking that it was a very long time ago. But to them, of course, it is the epitome of success. So when you recklessly give out these so-called prestigious awards to people that haven't proven anything, what do you expect? It's eventually going to devalue the award because now you have a lot of artists that have Grammys, but they're not even able to put another captivating album out there. They're not even to put out more captivating music out there. So at the end of the day, you just have a bunch of different people with Grammys at home that cannot even make hits anymore. And the concept about people wanting you to success only to a certain level, I mean, Victoria. I know people like to joke and say that she let the Gambo lady play in her hair with Sacred, and that's how her career went down because her energy was harvested. Of course, that's people joking around and making jokes and, the spiritual stuff there. But all I'm saying is, if you really thought that those people had your best interest at heart, I have an island to sell you in Namibia. Because how could you not observe what happened around Chloe and Hailey? Or you thought you were different? Artists really give me the vibe, those vibes of pick-me women that will literally watch a man mistreat another woman and somehow they will still get into a relationship with that man and not only think that he's going to treat them any better, but they will literally ish on the other woman and talk down on the other woman thinking that they're special. That is the relationship that I see between a lot of artists and the entertainment industry. They think it could never be them. I don't know what form of brainwashing these guys are subjected to. But yet again, another example of the music industry humbling people. That being said, still speaking about the music industry humbling people, and of course the dynamics and the behind the scenes of the industry, let's talk about Rihanna, Tyler, and this Arya Star situation. Now, what this is turning into is very interesting to watch because it can either make or break one of these girls' careers. I mean, the new girls. A Rihanna co-sign is a very good thing, in my opinion, and anyone should latch onto that. However, I would hate for Arya's brand to be reduced to just that girl who was supported by Rihanna because I think that independently she's also a very talented artist. So for that Rihanna co-signed to be the core of Arya's brand, I don't know. Because until we figure out who is behind those articles that have been coming out about Rihanna and who's behind the negative publicity, we do not know how much leverage Rihanna has in as far as that is concerned. Because if the executives are the ones that are behind all these negative articles that are being put out about her, then Arya banking on Rihanna's cosign alone can be very risky. Because what then that means is that those people targeting Rihanna right now would eventually start targeting her. And I don't think that she deserves that. Now, I feel like a clean Rihanna cosign that's not involving another artist would have been quite more beneficial for her than it being a cosign in the midst of the Tyler controversy. Because as of now, we truly do not know the executives behind Tyler. But what we all can see and what we all cannot deny is that Tyler has been stepping in big rooms. So who has been opening those doors for her? If it ever happens to be YT executives, then I worry for Arya. Because after all has been said and done, yes, she is linked with Lace Front and Rihanna. But We all know that Les Front, whenever YT executives are concerned, has no problem bowing down, has no problem selling out. We all know that. Les Front is not someone you can bank on because after a little conversation with them YT people, he will literally give off your head on a platter. And so until we know who's pushing who behind the scenes, I would have loved for Arya's brand to be clean. I really would have, because Lace Front will not have a problem selling out Rihanna if, need arises. He will not. The same way that, in my own opinion and in my conspiracy theorist mind, I do feel like her career was put on hold so that his wife can shine, he will not have a problem feeding Rihanna to the wolves if Tyler so happens to be begged by YT executives. And in the process of Rihanna being fed to the wolves, Arya would just but become collateral damage. And that is sad. And that is sad. Because Tyler's boldness also should tell you something, okay? In as much as she has always been cocky, she has that South African pride and stuff like that, you cannot also dismiss the fact that she has some form of backing in the music industry. So I don't know, you guys. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this entire thing with Arya and Rihanna. I saw that she announced the album and stuff like that. It's all cute and good, but I don't want her brand to be tainted by this controversy. That being said, let's talk about Chloe. It seems like Chloe has been getting a lick back in as far as Tyler is concerned. Because I do feel like there was a little bit of tension between the two girls. And it all started essentially when Halle was on that award stage. And, Tyler won an award. And people thought like Tyler was trying to make Halle look like the help because, she asked for help. Meanwhile, Tyler says that she was asking the guy. I don't remember the guy that was standing next to Halle. Who was that boy? There was a man there. And so Tyler essentially said that she was asking the man and not Halle. And people thought like she was trying to make Halle hold the award for her, which was highly disrespectful. Now, it didn't only end there. Later on, Chloe posted a picture of herself wearing some low cut jeans and, some makeup that was interesting. And Tyler thought that she was the inspiration to that. And she said this is so A-pop coded, which Chloe later said that no, she had taken a reference from something else that wasn't Tyler. And later on, Chloe did a cover of Tyler's song, which Tyler never really acknowledged. So, of course, people thought like there has been quite some, tension between Chloe and Tyler. And Chloe, when Rihanna posted that Met Gala recap, was in the comment section hyping her up and stuff like that. Not only that, she is now very active in Arya's comment section as it now. So clearly it appears that more girlies are supporting Arya in this entire situation, and Tyler is probably being viewed as the mean girl, which is an interesting dynamic, to be honest. The girlies are clearly picking sides. And another person that I also surprisingly saw in Arya's comment section is Jatavia. But with JT, I also looked back and realized that she has been supporting Arya way before this Tyler and Rihanna situation. So I guess the two of them just have some form of rapport or something. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. The music industry is very interesting. Let's see how everything is going to play out because my video is now on 26 minutes. I don't feel like I can continue talking. Otherwise, it's going to be the whole day of me trying to edit this. And I've got other things that I need to do. So thank you for watching. And let me know what you think about all of this. For the things that I was not able to cover in this video, I will talk about in my next video. Until my next one, see you.